Good afternoon. My name is, as already mentioned, I'm just reintroduction. My name is Muneer. I'm from School of Dentistry. I'm a digital immigrant, not a digital native. So I'm presenting here to learn something from you and hopefully a little bit knowledge I will also share. So it's just like a sharing session for me. So definitely the topic is on Bloom's digital taxonomy and why I'm choosing this topic. So if you remember from this, like just few years ago, 2005, if you can see the difference, how the digital technology have taken us. You can see that in 2013, this is like 3 years ago, the smartphones, they have taken over everything. Same when we go to our classroom, so our classroom used to be like this, now they are like this. This is one example. Then the future classrooms are more interactive, they have more digital things. So definitely whatever we are doing for the student, for their learning, we have to make sure that they learn something, so it has some learning effects. Okay, this is now the classroom of our, it's basically E-Lab. The students are working in E-Lab. This is dentistry students, they are working here. So you can see the transformation has already happened. The next slide will be our student doing problem-based learning, and they are using the latest things. And this is the second session of PBL, in which the students are presenting information to other students and discussing. So based on their information, so now they last time they used to only bring some notes, handwritten notes, but now they are bringing YouTube videos, they are bringing pictures, so they can share and everybody can learn from each other, and the visual effect, definitely the learning is improved and better. So this is our future, that people are more concerned about their laptop batteries and their smartphone charge rather than anything else. Okay, now coming back to delivering knowledge in the digital age, this used to be our office old time. Now we have changed into something totally different, and if you can see, almost 91% of the lecture they are using some type of information which is digital, or they're using laptops, smartphones, or some other important tools. Okay, now about Bloom's taxonomy. Going back to Bloom's taxonomy, the basis for this theory is rather straight. You know that the person cannot understand things unless they don't understand the concept, or they don't remember it. So this something for Bloom taxonomy is basics of all the learning. So this is one way, but definitely we have other ways of doing it. But this one for our students' own learning, Bloom taxonomy is very important, and we are using it for our dental students. Okay, now coming back to the main thing about Bloom's taxonomy. If you can see from this slide that there are psychomotor skill, affective, and cognitive. So then this is the original one. So they have accordingly explained it. Based on cognitive, will be processing information. These are the simple things the student will do in the class. Affective is the behavior, the attitude, and the psychomotor is basically about manipulation or physical activities or psychomotor skills. So in dentistry we use a lot of psychomotor skills, but definitely cognitive and affective are there. Cognitive is a lot of information they have to learn, and then that information they have to apply in the classroom or lab. Why this is important for all of us? Because learning is a prior element and stages. Simply like when students are in the classroom, they basically know the principle, the theory. But when they come to the lab, they apply this principle on simulation or different things. From there they take it to the clinic. From clinic, they start doing patients. With this, the important thing is how they remember things like the prior knowledge, which is very important for their concept. So once the student have their prior knowledge, especially when they are moving from one stage, like from initially from classroom, when they are moving to the clinics or from to the lab. So because of that prior knowledge, they can apply it on the patient. Sometimes when the information for the student or prior knowledge is not clear, the concepts are not clear, it is very difficult for them to apply that knowledge. And in our own observation, then the student takes a very long time, even a simple procedure like giving local anesthesia. They are so afraid that they will make some error because of their background knowledge is not very clear. Okay, now importance of analyzing prior knowledge. This is something which is important, like every other things in Bloom. When they have some knowledge, for example, when we train them in our skill center, from there when they move to our clinics. So if they don't know how to analyze that knowledge and how to transfer this learning into doing patients, it will be very torturous or difficult activity for students. Most of the time, the students are not able to do accordingly, and then we have a lot of issues with the patients. Okay, now the focus is basically on outcome, which is patient safety, not on the tools. Because as we always say, the technology should be in the driving seat. Technology should be in the passenger seat, and learning should be in the driving seat. Okay, why we are using Bloom's Write and Revise learning objective? It makes us easy. We know that from simple learning exercises to complex treatment, so how the student can do it. We can plan our curriculum based from starting from like semester 1, from easier going up to the difficult one, or analyzing, evaluating. So the other thing is effectively align objective to assessment techniques. This is one of a very important tool that we do assessment to see the student have learned, because assessment is one of the important tools to see the student can move to the next stage or not. Same as with competency tests. So if your objectives are not aligned to your assessment, the student will find it difficult, and you will find it very difficult to assess the student. Then about facilitating questioning is also part of this, and this is basically in feedback sessions. The student can, if they have in the clinic, if they have done something and they have problems or issues or concerns, they can share. They can ask questions from their peers. They can ask questions from the facilitator or supervisor in the session. So using Bloom's taxonomy, this is a very old slide, and most of the time you would have seen it. I've just, for reference, I'm presenting it here, so I make sure that we all are on the same page. Okay, now in Bloom's taxonomy recently revised, and based on this revision, the new revision is basically the nouns change. So now if you can see, this is the old one and this is the revised one. You can see these two, the topmost, evaluation and synthesis, are changed with creating and evaluating. These are interchanged. So now original one, it has used nouns, but the revised one, they have used verbs. Okay, now adding the digital part to this. So if we add the with the revised one, the digital Blooms, so it is many different things. For the simple, for the complex one, is they are creating evaluation, they are making videos. All these things will be on creating and like publishing, video casting. So these are the higher order thinking. But when we go back to the remembering part, it will be very simple. These will be highlighting or basically text mining. Text mining is looking for information on internet, Googling information. So this will be the most like basic thing, or the simplest will be remembering. Okay. From Bloom's high order thinking, they are as in my previous slide, but these are in more details, and these are the verbs how they have used, like designing, constructing. Our students, they are creating now web pages, they bring information, they write research papers. So this is all related to the high order thinking. But when we go down to the remembering, the first part, first level, it will be listing, describing. This is basically when we ask students to make a blog about something. So this will be a very basic information, and it is usually so the most simplest thing is how they Google thing, how they Google information. So now the first level, as you know, is creating, designing, constructing. So programming, filming, animating, blogging. These are the basic level for like creating. Then after this is creating will be first, but this is the reverse order. Normally we will go back to remembering. So first will come as a higher order thinking, creating. So after this is evaluating. They can create questionnaires. They can do collaborative networking. Analyzing will be matching, linking, tagging. In one of our projects here is student when they find information about ethics and professionalism online or in newspaper, and they hashtag it. Then applying will be basically uploading, downloading, sharing. This is the most simplest thing they can do. This is according to the digital. Then understanding and remembering is the most simplest one. Is basically when we ask the student to find information, instead of they going to some evidence-based, they just simple Google search it. So that will be the most easiest things. Okay, these are online tools to support revise taxonomy, and there are a lot of tools, but I have put few here. So if you go to creating, so these are a lot of tools. You can see remembering will be here. It's just like the simple one is OneNote, which most of us use for taking notes. Hangouts will be application, and these are a lot of tools which are available. This is when we divide them into high order thinking and low order thinking skills. So these are based on divide based on that. Okay, now to put everything in context in a very simple format. So remember is when we ask the student to make some online activity, which can be as simple as activity as they create a simple online questionnaire or blog and get some information from there. This is just like the remembering part. From remembering they go to understanding. Understanding is just like they watch and listen, for example, TED Talk, and then based on that they have write their reflection. So this will be the understanding part. Then apply is make, do, challenge, share their work with community. They can share their work with many ways. So especially like for example they have created some website or videos for patient education. So this is the application part. And in current community practices, for us this is very important that students, they create information especially for the patients. So from there they go to analyze, then evaluate, and then create. This creation will be basically like they have some personalized evidence-based pages where all the information are evidence-based, and patient or the layman, they can get these information. Okay, this is something I think is important. Its manifold does not represent the learning process. It does not indicate that the learner must start at the lowest taxonomy. This was, we had some discussion on Bloom's taxonomy, and then most of the time people think, or the academic think that they have to start from the lower level and go up. But basically the student can start, or the learner can start at any step, and all the steps which have already covered, they can accumulate it as one point. This already Prof has already discussed, so I will not go into details. This morning it was discussed. So this is a simple picture from this. You can see all the information. I just wanted to put it, but basically this was discussed this morning, so I'll just skip this thing. Thank you.